I the a-hole for freezing our joint account, reporting my husband's girlfriend to her employer, and telling my kids exactly why I did it? Yay! My husband introduced our kids to his girlfriend before he told me she existed. That's the sentence I keep coming back to. Not because I'm still in shock. I'm past shock. I just want people to understand the order of events because he's been running around telling everyone I overreacted and ambushed him. Excuse me? I mean, seems like he brought this upon himself. Let me tell you what actually happened. About 4 months ago, my husband changed, and I mean completely. He went from the kind of guy who left his socks next to the hamper, never inside it, to someone who was cooking dinner 3 nights a week, handling school pickups, asking how my day was like he meant it. I remember thinking, okay, something happened at work.
So usually these actions are from someone who's feeling guilty and they are trying to cover up for whatever they have done to you in secret so that they feel better about themselves.
Suspect. I didn't question it too hard because honestly, it felt nice. We'd been coasting for a while and I thought maybe he just finally decided to step up. A monster underneath the bed. Mother-in-law called me in February and said,
Whatever you did to fix him, thank you.
I laughed. I said I didn't do anything. I should have asked more questions then. If he had never given you a reason to doubt him, you were on the right. The first real crack was when my daughter, she's 9, came home from a Saturday at her dad's office, which apparently wasn't his office at all. She said, Dad's friend is really pretty. She made us hot chocolate. I asked, what friend? My daughter shrugged and said she didn't know her name, but she had curly hair and a big apartment. Ooh, this is bad. I mean, he has started taking your kids to his girlfriend's house. I mean, the audacity, the level of disrespect, not only for you, but also for your kids. What are the kids going to think of him when they grow up? I felt something shift in my chest. Not a full alarm, just a door creaking open that I wanted to shut. Ladies, whenever you have a gut feeling, an instinct,
Do not ignore your gut feeling.
because the God will really be gutting and trying to tell you something. I asked my husband that night casually, hey, who were you guys with on Saturday? He didn't even blink. He said it was a colleague, someone from his department. He said the kids had been bored, so they stopped by her place for a bit. He said it like it was nothing, like I was the weird one for asking. Guilty tripping you. That's what they always do. They know that you are right, but they always find a way to make it seem like you're the one at fault for asking such a weird question. And here's where I made my mistake. I believed him, not fully, but enough to let it go. 3 weeks later, my son, he is 12 and pays attention to everything, told me the same woman had been at his baseball game. Like this man was going overboard, hey, to the extent of now inviting his girlfriend to his son's baseball. Damn. He said dad seemed nervous around her. He used the exact word nervous. I went through my husband's phone that night while he was in the shower. I'm not proud of it, but I also don't regret it. If you are a couple, don't feel weird about going in your person's phone because it's normal. I mean, if you don't have secrets to keep from each other, I mean, it should be a norm. What I found wasn't just texts. It was a whole separate life. There's one thing that these kind of people are good at is hiding their double life. 8 months of it. This woman knew my kids' name, their schedules, their food allergies. My husband had told her everything. Oh, this man. There were photos of my daughter's birthday party that he'd taken and sent her. The woman was so manipulative to the extent that this guy was exposing his whole life. He was way over his head. There was a text from him that said, I want her to be part of their lives. I think the kids already like her. He was auditioning her as a stepmother while we were still married. Oh my word.
Oh no!
While I was sleeping in the same bed as him. That's toxic. That's toxic. I didn't wake him up. I didn't scream. I sat in the bathroom on the cold tile floor and just thought. I gave myself 1 hour to feel it because I knew once I moved, I had to move smart. Oh,
Oh yes, queen.
that's what we want. I call it the submarine move. Moving underwater, moving underground, in the shadows, without him knowing what your next move was. So that was clever. The next morning, I called my cousin, who's a family lawyer. I told her everything. She said, don't touch the money yet. Document first. So I did. I screenshotted everything. I sent it to all my email. I made copies. If you are in a situation whereby you are lawfully married, you sign those documents, you have to have a ground just in case you are going to go the divorce way. Then I waited 2 more weeks, collected more, found out the woman worked at the same company as my husband, different floor. Found out she knew he was married. There were texts where she asked him when he was going to tell her, and he kept saying soon. Soon. 8 months, and he kept saying soon. On a Thursday morning after he left for work and the kids were at school, I transferred half of our joint savings into an account only I could access. Not all of it, half. I also called the HR department at their company and told them 2 employees in the same building were in a relationship and one of them had been falsifying work from home logs to cover personal time. Ooh, spicy petty. Now that's a spicy petty move. I had documentation because she'd sent him photos from her work laptop and the metadata was right there. Then I picked my kids up from school and drove to my sister's house. My husband came home to an empty house and a side note on the table that said, I know about her. I know how long. I know the kids have already met her. Call your lawyer. Ooh, that was a pretty good note. I guess he was ecstatic when he saw the note. He called me 40 times before midnight. The voicemail started frantic, then angry, then almost sad. He said I had no right to freeze the money. He said what I did to her job was vindictive and psychotic.
How dare he?
He was taking your keys to his side piece. Who does that? He was the one who was psychotic here. No, he said he was going to tell everyone what I did. And he did. He told his family, his mother, the same one who thanked me 2 months earlier, sent me a message saying I
Was being cruel and that mistakes happen in marriage.
No!
Well, mistakes do happen in marriages, but there are some mistakes that you can tolerate. And ladies, queens, we don't tolerate cheating. Mistake, cheating, mistake. I don't think they belong in the same sentence. His sister called me bitter.
Oh no!
Where was the sister when her brother were taking your keys to the side piece? I mean, she shouldn't stick her butt into this. One of our mutual friends texted me saying I should have just talked to him. But on which grounds? I mean, you were also trying to protect yourself because this guy was planning his exit, doing nice things to you, yet he had a monster that he was hiding underneath the bed. So I don't blame you for not sitting him down to talk first. I mean, you did what you had to do to protect yourself and your kids from all these shenanigans. Talked to him? I want to sit with that for a second. This man spent 8 months lying to my face, introduced our children to his girlfriend without my knowledge, and was apparently planning to tell me about his affair on his own timeline. The feedback is that I should have talked to him first. I told my kids the truth, not everything. I didn't make it ugly. My son is 12 and he already knew something was wrong. He asked me directly why we were at my sister's. I told him that dad had hurt me in a serious way and that we needed some space while we figured things out. My daughter asked if dad was in trouble and I said yes, a little. Also humans, they have feelings. They get confused to what is happening, especially if you are going to go out of a setting whereby you were staying as a family and now there's a separation. You had to kind of like explain it to them so that they know what's happening and they won't go into like this confusion of whatever is happening. So that was a good decision that you did there to tell your kids. People have told me I shouldn't have told them anything, that I should have shielded them. But my husband had already brought this woman into their lives. He made that choice without asking me. The kids were already involved. I just gave them an honest version instead of letting confusion fester. It's better for the kids to know what's happening than to leave them in confusion. Here's what I actually think now that the dust is settling a little. The perfect husband phase was guilt. It wasn't love. It wasn't a wake-up call. It was performance. He was buying himself time and probably trying to soften me up so the eventual confession would land easier. As they always do. I was a problem he was managing. That's the part that stings more than the affair itself. And the woman, I don't hate her the way I expected to. She was impatient. She kept pushing him to tell me, which means she knew what she was doing was wrong. But he was the one who made vows. He was the one who kept choosing to lie. She just made it easier for him. The devil is the one that you already was staying with. The HR report was probably too far. I've thought about that, but I also think about my daughter describing a stranger's apartment whilst I was home making dinner, thinking my marriage was getting better, and I can't fully regret it. So, am I the or is there a point where how to protect yourself stops mattering less than the fact that you had to protect yourself at all?